seen.
Sorry, I don't have I have an Facebook account but not using, but I can use. I hope I can open this again.
Well, everyone, in the chat, I just posted a link to a site on our webpage where we have all the videos as well. So if you don't have Facebook, you can find everything there.
Thank you, Jonathan, for this.
It's on, but my Zoom is on already. I don't have to look at the screen for a while.
And just a reminder, everyone, as we begin, please mute yourself. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Let me bring the extension lead.
While we wait for Dr. Clint, as we always put things before his phone, if you can kindly put in the chat where you're all speaking from or where you're all connecting from, that would be amazing and awesome to find out where and how we're all connected.
Let us see.
I feel like Dr. Rogers is performing a miracle experiment to see what our action and reaction is to the silence and him not being here, and maybe what kind of miracle will create a technological solution.
He is asking me if we can hear him, and I said no. So he's obviously trying.
So he can hear us, and Clint, your microphone is not showing that you're connected, or your audio, and so it looks like you might have clicked to dial in, and you need to connect through the internet or dial in.
I just came off of another Zoom meeting as well, and none of the video was working there either.
Yes, Zoom had some outage problems where the voice could not be heard or the videos, etc. played. Screen sharing could not be done. So we again during this call may experience that. So please be aware.
It would be good, I think, if everybody muted their call so there was a minimum of excess noise at some point. But why don't we all just take a moment to ground and meditate and intend that Clint will come soon, and just kind of center ourselves as we're kind of readying for Clint to be arriving.
Clint, if you can hear me, if you want to call me on my phone or through WhatsApp, I can conference you into the Zoom meeting.
Charging? No.
Not charging बोलता है. Enter device passcode to trust this computer बोलता है.
It's too complex.
I'm sure it's charging now.
चार्ज हो रहा है?
हाँ हो रहा है बट
तुझे से मिला दिया?
बट ये बंद कर दो. हाँ नहीं मैं कटोरी में रख दी हूँ, बट I put it in a कटोरी. वो तो पूरा है ना, फ्रिज से निकालेगा तब होगा ना, तो फ्रिज से तो अभी नहीं निकालना, 5 बजे निकालना.
Hello, Bagni.
हाँ,
Can you mute yourself? Can you mute yourself?
शिला जी, हो सके तो आपका माइक प्लीज म्यूट कर देना, शुक्रिया.
ओके, माइक म्यूट करूं. Sorry, 1 minute.
On the left down, you should see a mic symbol where if you click on it, it will go mute. Yeah, good. Thank you.
Gary, could you kindly play some music so we can go into the meditative state while we wait for Dr.
Yeah.
Clint to join in?
Yes, I will. Right, I'll play something now.
I have Clint here, and he's going to be speaking through what looks like me.
Oh, then I won't be playing music then.
Amazing. Wow, we are having some beautiful experience over here. There's been some different power outages and different things happening, so I think some of the technical stuff is a little bit off, but I'm so happy to. I'm just going to try one more time so you can see me. Maybe, Mike, you can pin my video, but just maybe that's a little tricky. I don't know. Should I just speak like this right now?
Yeah, we can do that if your video's not showing either, though, or your audio.
Oh, it's not showing for you right now?
No.
Okay, let's see.
Ask Clint if he'd like me to play something. Tell him when he's ready. I'll play the Marion Williamson.
Okay, good. Well, let me just start with this. I am so excited. Like, this is an unexpected guest, this technical challenge. I'm so glad that we have such competent people helping work on it. And I'm excited because of what can unfold on this very call and the secrets that we're going to discuss and talk about, and also the stories and experiences we're going to hear from people who are having such amazing, it's so beautiful. So, yeah, first of all, I want to hand it over to Gary, just so we can all be on the same page in our hearts. So Gary has a beautiful thing to play. Actually, I think Mike, in the same Dropbox folder, it's called, what's the name of it called, Gary?
I got it here. If I can share, I'll take care of it right now.
Okay, super. So I'll hand it over to Gary for this beginning part. Thank you, everyone, for being here. So excited about what we're going to experience today.
So, hello, everybody. This is such a wonderful opportunity to recognize that when things change and it gives us an opportunity to be fluid. I'd like you all to mute your phones and your computers because the extraneous noise will interfere in the ability to really just receive the beauty of this. This is a wonderful example of a balancing tool for head and heart, right? Many of you know that the culture we live in has a serious problem with being imbalanced in the head and the heart, and we put a lot of our focus on the words that we say and the things that we think and the thoughts and the worries and the regrets of the past and the concerns of the future. So this is called alchemical wisdom, and its purpose is to balance ourselves in the head and the heart, right? So this is a very famous quote, or an excerpt from a book called A Return to Love by Marion Williamson. I met with her in New York, as I meet with all these wisdom keepers, and I asked her to share the famous quote that many people thought was originally spoken by Nelson Mandela at his inauguration speech. But it turns out it was never spoken by him, or if it was, it might have been quoted once, but this is from Marion Williamson, and I want us to all, even if you've heard it before, I want you to use this as an opportunity to let the ground be, the feet on the ground, deeply breathe into your heart, gratitude for being alive, and this is a beautiful opportunity to balance our heads and our hearts, and to start thinking about all the things that we wish and dream for in our lives, like, and especially when Dr. Clint and Dr. Naram said, what do you want, right? Often what's crowded by what we want is a belief that we can't have what we really want. So then we hide what we want from ourselves. This is a way of dropping into the fullness of your wants, desires, dreams, and goals. Please mute your phones. I'm still hearing a lot of noise, and this way that people will really experience the fullness of this track. Okay, here we go. Dr. Naram said what? Oh, all right. All right. So I need this. I can't share my screen. So, Clint, are you saying that somebody has this track? Because somebody can let me share the screen.
Yeah, can you hear me right now, Gary?
Hey, there he is. Yes.
I can.
Oh, super. Michael, in the Dropbox folder, you'll find something, and it's called Powerful Beyond Measure. And see if you can play that, Michael.
The host is disabled attendee screen sharing is, if you could allow Gary to share or me, we both have the same challenge.
Okay, let me see if I can figure that out. Thank you so much, everyone, for your patience. We'll figure this out.
Got it, Eric.
All right. I am almost got it. Now I think I'd be able to add you as a host, Michael, and then you'll be able to do it. Because from here, it's not giving me that option. Just 1 second, everybody. Okay, just...
So I'll let Michael do it then. Okay.
Okay, here we go. Okay, Michael, I just made you host. Were you able to get that?
I'm just pulling up the Dropbox link.
Okay.
Is it a video or an audio file only?
It's audio.
It's in something called Transformances, I think.
Or alchemical wisdom. I have it here, but I understand it's hard to share.
Yeah, it's in the folder called Transformances.
Yep.
And then it's called Powerful Beyond Measure.
Here it is.
Super.
Everybody mute your phones or your computers.
Oh, there we go.
What holds us back in our lives is our fear. And sometimes when you take a very close look, you find out that your fears aren't exactly what you thought they were. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? But actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us. It's in all of us. And as we let our own light shine, we subconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So it's holy work to move past your own fear. It doesn't just help you. It helps the world.
Thank you for allowing yourself to balance your heart and your head, and may you have a beautiful call today. Thanks, Clint.
Thank you, Gary. Such a powerful audio and a powerful reminder about really what's possible for any of us if we face whatever it is that we need to allow ourselves to be that what she calls powerful beyond measure. Such a powerful quote and such a powerful reminder. And this global healing miracle experiment is a perfect example of us doing that, not just individually, but collectively. And there's been so many exciting things happening in just only this last week, that even though we have some difficulty or some challenge here with the Zoom settings, like right now, can you see my video, Michael? Is it visible now or no?
No, we can't see anybody's video, but we can hear you. You're very clear.
Okay, super. And then Michael, when people are coming in, for some reason their audio is still on. So if you can just keep an eye on that and just automatically mute them, or like click to mute them until we ask for participation or for people to speak.
By the way, some people are saying they can in fact see you, which is interesting.
Oh, they can? Oh, amazing. Yeah, because I can see some videos too. Like a couple of videos I can see. Oh, great. Well, for those who can see me, super. Then I'll speak where you can see me. Welcome, welcome, welcome all of you. And welcome everything that's happening. So when we talk about unexpected guests and the divine showing up in our lives, this is one perfect example. And one video I can see for some reason, and actually I can hear this time, is my mom. So that makes me happy. Even with all the videos and all the audio is not working, just to have that one little moment where I see my mom on this call makes me so happy. Mom, since last time you learned how to unmute yourself at the end of the call, just for like even 30 seconds right now, can you say hi to everyone? I can see you. Hi, Mom. Can you hear me? Hi, everyone. Good. Super. So, Mom, what are you most excited about for this call today? Do you have anything that you want to see happen? Anything that you like about these calls? Even 30 seconds right now. Can you say hi to everyone? Super. So, Mom, what are you most excited about for this call today? Do you have anything that you want to see happen? Anything that you like about these calls? 30 seconds right now. Can you say hi? I think her iPhone left, but Michael, I'm getting a lot of phones that are still on. Are you able to go through and just mute them, or mute all?
Mute all again.
Okay, you may just have to watch that, otherwise we're going to get this little bit of an echo going on.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, this may be like an example of the birthing process of what we're trying to bring into the world, but I'm so excited because of that we're doing it. You know, and in a situation in which lots of challenges and lots of interference and lots of complexities are happening, how we can drop into our heart and how we can navigate each moment. You know what I'd like to also do? Let's see if it's possible.
I'm sorry, I'm doing a mute all, and still it even shows like you are muted, and still I can hear you. So there's something going on with the muting feature as well.
Okay, no problem. When I can also pop in, and let's see, Jonathan. I'm just gonna see if I can also make you a co-host.
Sure.
Just so that way we can coordinate it as well. Actually, Michael, can you make Jonathan a co-host? And he can kind of help you with that. All right, Jonathan, if you can kind of just keep it on mute, make sure I'm unmuted, and make sure whatever other thing is happening. I love that we got this teamwork. So this is a global healing miracle experiment. I posted a video which just explains exactly what we're doing, so making sure we're all on the same page. Last week we talked about being clear on what you want. Clear on what you want. Actually, if I can find that notepad. Yeah, here it is. All right, so I'm going to go through again. There's 6 basic things that all of us are doing together. So the very first one is discover what you want. Discover what you want. And if it's too complex to say what you want totally, then at least what do you want from today? And on the website that we created, actually, Jonathan, maybe can you post that link again, both on in the Zoom group, and then also go to my Dr. Clint G. Rogers Facebook page, post it in that as well, where it just gives clarity over what is this experiment and how can you see the miracles happening in your life. So number 1 is, what do you want? And posting it and writing it in the form of a gratitude statement. So then the second thing is, discover what you want to be. We talked about that more in the last calls. Not a to-do list, but actually having a to-be list. So what do you want to be? And in the cool journal that Jonathan created and that Ilaria translated into Italian, it shows that at the beginning of the day, you can just write down, what do I want from today? It only takes a couple minutes, but so worth it. And then what do you want to be? We're not human doings, we're human beings. Third is this practicing a Titi Deo Bala, which we've talked about quite a bit. And so important.
I never met him.
Then the fourth is infusing your life with more gratitude. So at the end of the day, making sure you take time to write at least 3 things that you're grateful for. When you write these 3 things, you can also post them to Facebook.
How many people?
Just 1 second here. All right.
All of them.
Let's see here. Just 1 second. All right. So then after, and just by infusing life with more gratitude, a lot of powerful things can happen. Then the 5th one is, just 1 second here. All right. Thank you guys for helping with getting everyone muted. So the 5th thing here is pay attention to and enjoy the mystical miracles that are happening in your life. The mystical miracles of love and healing. And then the 6th one we're going to talk a little bit about today, and I'm going to get to that in just a minute. But before that, this global healing miracle experiment has gone a very different direction than even I was anticipating. I didn't know exactly what to expect because it's an experiment. And it's an experiment with mystical miracles, which means that you can't really predict what miracles are going to happen or what miracles are going to come. But one of the most amazing mystical miracles that I've been seeing happening is this this amazing group of volunteers that are just joining with their hearts to say, we want to make sure this message gets out into the world. And the person who originally saw one of the first calls of the Global Healing Miracle Experiment came to me, Jenny, and she says, I feel inspired. I feel like I should do this. I feel like this is my calling. And as a result, she says, I said, super. So we sent out that email. And like I had mentioned on previous calls, within almost 24, 48 hours, we had volunteers ready to translate into 15 languages. Well, by now it's 29 or 30 languages. I don't know exactly what it is. And the first covers were completed, But I just want Jenny, I don't know if you can unmute Jenny, Jonathan, or Mike. I just want her to speak about this experience, what's happening, and what are you feeling as you're engaging in this? Is Jenny on the call, and can you unmute her?
Hello.
Oh, super. So you just sent me an email a couple of days ago that was so beautiful.
Yeah, it's already 3 weeks ago that this started.
Oh, wow.
It's going crazy because every day people are working very hard to translate the book, and in all such a loving way. I receive emails. There's so much gratitude that they can be part of this project, because it gives so much back when you translate the book. And also the working together is, it's going in such a loving way. And that is what I was hoping for. That I said before I met the Global Healing Experience, I just said out loud, I want to have kind and loving people that surround me. And with this project, it just started to happen. And it's really a miracle, because I can see how my life, actually all the things that I've learned many things, all the skills that I've acquired, all come together in this project. So that is amazing. And it's really wonderful to be part of it. And I really feel guided towards you or towards this project, because it just feels like that, and I get so much energy, and I can do so many things in a day. And even walking through the woods with my dog, and cook for the neighbors, because I do that. And it's amazing. I get so many things done with so many good people. It's really wonderful. Yeah, I thank you so much, everyone, because alone I can do nothing. We only can do this together. Yeah.
Yeah, so beautiful, so beautiful. I'm just seeing the comments from so many people all over the world. Vanda, thank you, Jenny. So many people are saying thank you, Jenny, for what you're doing.
Yeah.
And Vanda just popped up on the screen. I just want to say, I know I don't want to embarrass her, but at first, before this, her and also Jaina were in charge of the data entry. So, it seems like it makes sense that just from helping translate the book, you get benefits, because it goes into you deep and something happens inside of you. Now, what's amazing me is that anyone who's in service of getting this message in the world is seeing miracles happen in their life. And I think what happens is because they're doing it with so much love. So Vanda is a great example, and Jaina are great examples, where they were doing data entry, but every time they would enter a name into the spreadsheet, Vanda would just, with her heart, just bless that name. Just did it with that much love. It was just so touching. It so much touched my heart. And I feel that. Like Jenny was having this prayer in her heart to be involved with people that are loving, and then the prayer is answered. And same thing with Jonathan. I know, Jonathan, you're busy with coordinating this technical, amazing technical feat. But I just want to acknowledge Jonathan. Man, he's been doing so much behind the scenes, and with so much love, and solving problems. I go to sleep, I give him a bunch of technical challenges, and by the time I wake up, they're solved. Also, Mike, who's on this call, who's now the co-host and helping coordinate a lot of the logistics of these calls, and also the crowdfunding, right in the midst, probably one of the most challenging moments of his life, and still showing up on this call. And I'm so grateful for that, Mike, and I just want to say thank you for that. I want to hear from a couple of the people translating. So, Beryl, are you here? Beryl from Turkey, are you here? And can you unmute yourself, or maybe Jonathan or Mike can unmute you? I want to hear from a couple of translators, because I found out what they were doing, and it inspired me so much.
There are so many translators on this call right now.
Yeah, I want to hear from some of them and what their experience is like. I don't know if Beryl is here, but if you're here, you can unmute yourself. If not, is Bob here on the call? Maybe Bob, if you can unmute yourself, or
Ilaria.
yeah, Ilaria, fantastic. Ilaria, can you unmute yourself?
Yes.
Let's see if you can.
Hi.
Super. I want you to share about your experience and what kind of mystical miracles have been happening to you as a result of serving in this global healing miracle experiment.
Yes. I'm so grateful to be used to translate this book in Italian. And today is arrived my copy of the just this morning, and I'm so happy for this. And this team is really amazing because I see all the work, the beautiful work they are done, and I can feel their heart, and I'm so happy for this all this wonderful work we are doing. And actually friends, two guys who are helping me by and they are amazing, and I'm so happy. And a lot of miracles since I started this experiment happened since the very first experiment. I see miracles everywhere. I'm so happy. I just feel blessful for this service to humanity, and I can see in the future the huge impact of this book for the world. And it's so beautiful when I go to bed each night to visualize, to think about the huge impact for all. And it's really pleasure to be useful for this. Thank you, Jen. Thank you all for amazing work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ilaria. Now, one of my favorite things from this week was being able to see the cover translated into Italian and into Japanese, and I know you worked on that as well. So thank you so much. So exciting. So the book that will be published and it will be launched on June 1st is Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer. And this book that will be launched on June 1st, we allowed it to be open for a certain amount of people so they could order it in advance and get it through Amazon to leave reviews before it's published. So that's why she got it in advance. But most people will be able to get this on June 1st. And it's very exciting. Jenny, is there any other translator on the call that you see that you think we'd love to hear from and they can share their experience?
Yes, I would love to hear Hasima. Hasima is a mother of Nora, and they both do Arabian. They both translate
beautiful.
into Arabian.
All right. Hasima,
I would love to hear them.
share? You could unmute yourself. We just want to hear what drew your heart to this and what's your experience been? I don't know if you're able to unmute yourself, Hasima, but let's see if we can do it here. Let's see if I can do it from my end. All right, Hasima, I'm going to unmute your audio. All right, can you talk to us, Hasima, and share your experience?
Yes. Actually, my heart is beating very hard now because I'm talking to all of you guys. God bless you all. I'm so happy in trying to translate. And I feel I'm honored to do this and to make it possible for Arabic reading or speaking people to read what's going on and to understand the reality of all of this.
What inspired you to do this, Hasima? I'm so curious. What inspired? What drew your heart to this?
Actually, many years I was watching Dr. Naram on videos on Google, and unfortunately, a year ago I couldn't really meet with him, but I met Dr. Marian G, and but he spoke to me, and from his videos, I really realized how good he is, and how honest he is, how smart he is, how intelligent he is. And I don't know why I believed him so much. I believed in him so much that I cry every day because I could meet with him and see him personally. But this opportunity came. I was very happy to do it, and I feel miracles in my life, from financial to spreading the love to all of you, to all of the people to that I know, and that's what inspired me. I want to do good for others, like Dr. Naram did for many people. So that was my inspiration, and that's all. That's all to say.
Oh, that's so beautiful, Hasima. So beautiful. Thank you so much. I'm so inspired because through you, just think how many people's lives are going to change because you're doing what you're doing. So many people that can't speak English or another language will read it in Arabic and their whole life is going to change. And I'm just so grateful for that. Thank you so much. Jenny, anyone else that you see that you'd like to hear from?
Yes, Richard Leon.
Ah, beautiful. Richard, can you unmute yourself or do you need me to? Let's see, just one sec. I think I can do it on my end too.
Hello.
Ah, beautiful.
Hi, how are you doing?
Great. What drew your heart to be a part of this, and what's your experience been like as you're translating?
Well, right now, what happened was I was watching Dr. Ram on YouTube, and I said, I really have to meet this person, Dr. Ram. And I actually didn't get a chance to meet Dr. Ram, but I met Dr. Marianji. And just through my talk with, I realized what he's doing was transforming the world by healing the world so everybody is living in their higher state. And he actually called me. He called me from Nepal, which was absolutely a miracle. I mean, he called me from Nepal and I talked to him, just told him what we were doing here in Calgary, Canada. We started with 12 yoga teachers. Now we have over 1,000 yoga teachers that's gone globally. And we're raising funds to help community. And he was going to come and do a talk, but he passed away. Things just didn't work out, but it's just been a privilege just to be on this incredible experience, this book launch and everything else. So I'm really grateful for that.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Richard. Thank you so much. One of the things that I love is that I think Dr. Naram, a lot of people have talked about not being able to meet him. I've talked to a lot of people about what was your favorite thing about him. And, maybe it was his smile, his contagious enthusiasm, that he felt like he wasn't even walking on the floor because he was bouncing so high. How present he was when he was with you. So completely present. So good at listening and paying attention. And loving you, not judging, but actually loving you.
Yeah, that took us.
Mike, are you able to just watch the muting and help with that part of it? Okay, super.
Yeah, it's acting up too. It's sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay.
It's sporadically become unmuted too. It seems like.
Thanks for your help on that. So Dr. Naram had all of this, and in a world in which people are afraid to touch and even be near each other, through this book we can touch their hearts. And the people who are serving on this, the Global Healing Miracle Experiment, has taken such a turn I never expected. I never thought that before the book was published, it would start being translated into 29 languages before even the launch date. Like, I don't know of another book where that has happened, and even better than that, where people are doing it with so much love. One of the stories that inspired me is we needed a translator in German. And there was someone who had volunteered to help, but it just didn't work out because she needed to do things to earn money, and her focus was on that. So I said, make sure you're focusing on taking care of your family. But then still we were left without a translator. I haven't even shared this story with Jenny yet. But I got contacted by someone that said Dr. had visited him in a dream and told him he needed to do the translation. So he's willing to do it within 6 to 7 weeks to complete it. And I thought, this is amazing. Right when I think we're in a crux and something's not working because something, like life throws us things that seem like it's not working.
Sure thing.
Oh, Siri's talking to me now. She says, sure thing that happens. But in reality, there's something working for us. Life is not happening to us, but life is happening for us. And when I talked to this man, I realized that's happened for many, many of the translators. What's drawn them here, I think Dr. Ram is helping, or whatever power wants this message to you in the world, is helping in such a way that our hearts are drawn to do this work with love. And on one of the calls this last Friday, someone spoke and shared such a beautiful thing. Arlene, I don't know if you'd be willing to share with everyone, but it just really touched my heart, your perspective about, does anyone else see what's happening? So I don't know if you're able to unmute yourself, but if you could just share for a little bit, what is it that you see that's happening from your perspective?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you and see you, yeah.
Okay, great, because I have headphones on today. I'm continually brought to tears with this group. I have, not to speak too long about myself, but I have been in spiritual study my whole entire life. And I'm Aquarius, so we are in the age of Aquarius. And everything that I have ever wished for is starting to open in front of my eyes. And I'm beginning to see, as a collective consciousness through this group, who we are and the miracles we've created, and that we are in fact creating a paradigm for the collective consciousness to move forward on a volunteer basis. It's different when you are volunteering and giving a service versus receiving money. I'm not completely against money, but this group, if you ask me, because our hearts are wide open and we're all so full of love, that we are creating a collective consciousness, a movement through the universe, like the butterfly effect, that is affecting everything. And I know within my heart that people are being touched, even though we are not aware that people are being touched by what's happening on the group here. And so, with all my heart, I want you to know that we are creating miracles, each and every one of us. Even if you are not a translator, or you think that you don't have your hands in this, you have your hands in this. I want you to know that, because consciously, we are all connected. And so we are creating a collective vortex of love that is going and, in fact, is affecting the whole world. That's my take.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And also, there's a part of it maybe you don't want to share, but also just this guidance from unseen forces to really tap us into our hearts and to do something collectively in this way. I don't know how many times on planet Earth this has ever happened, but that it's happening now is such a sacred gift,
Yes.
I think it's just this global healing miracle experiment I thought was going to play out in a totally different way. I didn't think it was going to happen like this, but I had my heart open, and when you're inviting miracles, you can't predict what miracle is going to come or how it's going to happen.
That's right.
And the miracle for me is I'm used to doing everything on my own. And this is one of the first times in my life I'm not doing it. And I know I'm not doing it.
Yes.
And everyone who's participating and stepping forward and volunteering is getting the such beautiful benefits and miracles and experiences happening for them. You know,
yes.
Also on this call is Christelle.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, thank you, Arlene. Beautiful. Christelle, you just want to share again, just real briefly, but what it was like before you started this experiment, and then what it's like now. I don't know if you're able to unmute yourself and speak, but Christelle is one of the ones that's helped also on the social media team, and then she's translating the book into Basque. Christelle, I don't know if you're able to unmute yourself. I can try to from my end too. Let's see here. Just 1 second. Okay, Christelle, are you able to speak now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Super.
I'm out on my bike trying to get home.
Oh, that's so fun. Well, you know, even the fact that you're on your bike and you have so much passion to join the call is just too awesome.
Yes, I've been working, so and then I'm going back home. But yeah, what was it like for me before I got involved with you and Dr. Naram? Actually, I was going through a really hard time. Probably one of the darkest times in my life. And since I've stumbled on your TED Talk and then on Dr. Naram, everything has just changed. I can only say that my heart has opened so much, so expanded so much that everything around me everybody that's around me notices it. They all saying that they just want to spend time next to me because they're starting to shine. And this is what I did. Yes, and Dr. Naram to me, and you also, and Dr. Giovanni and Krishna, you shine. You know, everything comes so from the heart, and the book comes from the heart. Every phrase you read is like it just lights you up. And I think even if you could do all the marmits and all the recipes, which are brilliant, but it is the people that are behind this, and really that it comes all out of understanding and love for our fellow human beings, that this becomes so big, and that this affects so many people around the world. It really is spectacular, and I see it directly around me. I'm not even doing anything, and I sometimes wonder what is going on, you know. And I told you at the start of our experiment that I had this meeting with a doctor here in the valley that I live in, and a few days ago he phoned me, and he said, I hadn't heard from him for a while, and he said, Krista, I need to see you, absolutely. And I was like, okay. He said, I'm going back to France. And I was like, oh no, because he's from France. And he's been working here, you know, for the last little while. And I thought, oh no, all this is going to go and fall to pieces because I was supposed to work with him. But he said, no, I still want to see you because our meeting, there is something that you need to share with the world. And I was like, this is so, I see a squirrel. Oh no. Sorry, there's a squirrel on the road. But you know, and so we met up today this morning before I went to work, and I was like, he said, you know, I'm going back to France, but I've spoken to another cabinet, another doctor's center here, medical center, and we've talked about you, and we've talked about this project that he wanted to set up, and he said, I just want you to be part of it. And it's not going to be now. It might be in a half a year's time or in a year's time. And I was thinking, I see, it's all good. It's happening. And Dr. Naram is everywhere. And you're everywhere.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you, Christelle. I'm so grateful for you sharing. Not just the translators are having such beautiful success, but also it's amazing. Like normally mainstream media, it has a challenge with some of this stuff. But last weekend, I was on 2 of the major news stations for India. And not only that, but one of our participants in this experiment wrote something that was published in India Post that was a full spread, Michelle Curry. And Michelle, are you on this call? I don't know if you're on, you can unmute yourself, but let me see if I can unmute you. Just 1 second. Let's see. I don't know if you're still on the call or not, but just 1 second.
Hi.
Oh, good. There we go.
How are you doing today?
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, super. I didn't mean to interrupt whatever you're doing, but can you share what is your experience like? What is the article you're writing now? And what's been your experience? I don't even know. You haven't told me, but I want to hear about what is the article you're writing now and what's your experience?
The article that I'm currently working on now is about the Dream Team with your book that you wrote and the work that they're doing behind the scenes. So that's the included in the title of the article is behind the scenes, and I think that you'll be real pleased with it when I send it to you later on.
Super. So you're interviewing people that are on the Miracle Dream Team that are serving it. And what's been your experience as you're asking them questions and getting their response? How has it impacted you?
Just seeing the depth and the beautiful personalities of the individuals that are on the team and coming across from all over the world that are really backing the book and the work of Dr. Naram. So it's been a really amazing experience.
So beautiful. Thank you, Michelle, for what you're doing.
You're welcome.
We had a beautiful call on Friday with people that are writers and speakers. And there was about 33 people live on that call, and then others that had joined as well. And I was so inspired by who came on the call and what's possible when we have a lot of people doing what Michelle is doing and being able to speak and being able to write from the heart and doing it with love. So along those lines, this brings us to the secret, the sixth secret that I wanted to talk about today. So I'm going to read a section from the book. Thanks, Jenny, for putting your email address, because there are a lot of people saying, what about translating in this language or this language? What about Urdu or Portuguese or different ones? So send an email to Jenny. And also, maybe Jonathan, on the Facebook page, you can post that email address as well. This is so important for everyone who's on this call. Whether you're helping translate, whether you're writing articles, or if you're doing things in your own life, even with your own family or with your friends, with anything that you ever do ever, this secret that's in this book that Dr. Naram taught me, which I'm sharing with you now in the form of the story that he shared with me, can change everything about your life. It is a secret to super success in any area of your life. So I want to share it with you. This is actually in chapter 5. So I talked about coming to India with Alicia, going to the clinic, some of the things that I saw, and this is how the story continues. Just one second here. All right, so this is how the story continues. This is in chapter 5, and it's called A Great Secret for Succeeding at Anything. The quote at the beginning is this, by Wendell Berry. When we no longer know what to do, when we no longer know what to do, we have come to our real work. And when we no longer know which way to go, we have begun our real journey. I think that describes the state of the world right now. The next night, before Alicia and I would take a red-eye flight to the United States, Dr. Naram hosted us for a farewell meal. Although the food was delicious, I ate quickly, hoping to have more time to talk with Dr. Naram. Finally, he said, "Could you meet me alone in my study? I want to show you something very special." Once I closed the door of the study behind me, Dr. Naram brought out several bundles wrapped in orange cloth. As he untied the strings around them, I saw they contained old, worn pages covered with handwritten characters that I didn't recognize. In a hushed tone, Dr. Naram said, "These are some of the pages from the ancient texts given to me by my master." He carefully handled each page, sharing how precious the manuscripts were to him and how they guided him to the ancient principles, formulas, and methods he used to help heal people. So this is just one example of a picture. A scrap of yellow paper at the beginning of each text, written in English, provided a short description of the contents. They were written in several languages: Sanskrit, Tibetan, Nerali, Nepali, Ardhamagadi, or Magadhi Prakrit. There were home remedies, herbal formulas for diabetes, different types of cancers, for hair and skin problems, ancient mantras and marmas for manifesting happiness, peace, and abundance. There were even secret youth formulas used by a lady called Amrapali, who Dr. Naram explained was over 60 years old but looked 30 years younger. She was so attractive that a 35-year-old king fell in love with her despite already having a beautiful young wife. I had a strong desire to touch these ancient writings, but I didn't want to risk damaging the fragile paper. Dr. Naram said, "My whole life has been about following the instructions of my master so that I could decode the principles from these ancient pages and bring them into physical reality in the modern world in a way that changes and even saves people's lives. There was a long pause as I let those words sink in. Breaking the silence, I asked him a question that was burning inside of me for a while. Where did all this start for you? As he tenderly rewrapped the ancient pages in orange cloth, Dr. Ram told me his story. 30 years ago, I graduated from university as a doctor. What? Before becoming a healer, you were trained as a doctor? Yes, Dr. Ram said. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in 1978 from Bombay University and advanced Ayurvedic medical degrees in 1982 and 84. Only thing is, I was still a doctor from nowhere. I had a big dream of wanting to change the world. I wanted to help people attain vibrant health, peace of mind, unlimited energy, but I had no energy, health, or peace myself. What is more, despite my education, I was still working with only a maybe theory. Do you know what a maybe theory is? I shrugged and shook my head. Suppose a patient came and said he had a stomach ache. I'd say maybe gas, maybe acidity, maybe some tumor, or maybe some problem with his wife. I'd give a broad spectrum of remedies based on maybe guesses, and he'd go away. He would come back with the same problem only a month later and I'd say, maybe it's psychosomatic. I'd spend hours consulting with my patients without getting any results. I was frustrated, depressed, nervous, and anxious. I felt like a failure. I ate bad food to calm my anxiety, and I gained lots of weight. I was over 220 pounds and began to question whether the remedies I was using were effective. Or maybe the problem was I didn't understand people. Maybe I didn't understand their real challenges, concerns, fears, anxieties. Maybe this was not a job for me, Dr. Naram said. As Dr. Naram spoke about not being happy, I reflected on my own sadness. It was not always there, but it came frequently enough to make me question many things in my life. Sometimes it appeared as depression, sometimes as impatience or irritation with myself and others. Dr. Ram continued, I was not making any money, I had no job satisfaction, no inside joy. Then one day, a miracle changed my life forever. So I'm going to tell this story about that miracle. Dr. Ram had been helping a patient by the name of Shankar. For a long time, he'd meet every week for 2 hours, still wasn't able to solve his problem. And then one day, finally Shankar didn't come back. And Dr. Ram said, maybe I helped someone. Later, he saw Shankar on the street and he was walking normal. He had lots of energy. He went over. He's like, what happened? Did I help you? And Shankar said, no, you never even understood me. How could you help me? And Dr. Ram said, that's my problem. I don't understand people. But how did you get better? Shankar told him about this 115-year-old master that he met who just from touching the pulse actually understood him, understood his problems, what was happening in his mind, his body, his emotions. Dr. Ram got curious and said, can you tell me where is this master? Shankar told him where, and Dr. Ram just decided in that moment, I'm going to see this man and see if he can help me. So he wrote down on a sheet of paper all his own problems and decided to go visit with this master. Let's see, I even have a picture. Dr. Ram made it to this place and met his master, Baba Ramdas, right here, whose picture, this picture is 115 years. And Dr. Ram would say not 115 years old, but 115 years young. Because at that age, he was still seeing 80 people a day. When it was finally Dr. Ram's turn, he took his pulse and told Dr. Ram, oh, you have high blood sugar, diabetes. Dr. Ram was like, yeah. Oh, you have this problem. Yeah. Oh, this problem. Yeah. And he named everything on his list by just touching his pulse. Then Dr. Ram was surprised. He says, went home, but he said, I want to learn this. If I want to do anything with my life, I want to learn because this is powerful and it's helping people. He really understood me. So there's a secret in this book that isn't the main secret from today, but Dr. Ram taught me in this chapter. He says, in the last 6,000 years of human history, the greatest need people have is not love, but it's actually understanding. People want to be understood. And this man understood Dr. Ram so well. So he went back the next day and he said, please teach me, great master. I want to learn this ancient art and science. How did you live to be over 100 with so much youthful vibrance? How do you understand people so well? What are these secrets? And his master, Baba Ramdas, says, very good, you want to learn. No problem. Come tomorrow. So Dr. Ram says, okay. So he went back, came back the next day. Baba Ram says, oh, you want to learn? No problem. Come tomorrow. So the next day he came. Then he says, come tomorrow. The next day he came. Come tomorrow. Next day he came. Come tomorrow. This happened for 100 days. For 100 days, his master said, come tomorrow. Finally, at this 100th day, Dr. Ram saying, maybe this master's playing games with me. Maybe he's not really trying to teach me anything. So I want to learn this, though. So he went in front of his master. He says, listen, I'm committed to learn this. I want to learn this. I'm going to stand here like a rock until you teach me. I'm not going to go to the bathroom. I'm not going to do anything until you teach me this ancient art and science of Siddha Veda. His master said, who decides? Dr. Ram says, I'm deciding. And his master says, oh, maybe that's your problem. So Dr. Ram decided to stand there. He saw it. Person after person come. Person after person, this master understood. He also saw him use something called marma, which helped people with frozen shoulder have full mobility. People that couldn't walk could walk again. People with back pain, neck pain, that pain was able to reverse either by significant amount or completely. He saw one thing after another, standing there for 3 hours, then 4 hours, and after about 4.5 hours, he started squirming because he really needed to use the restroom. But he didn't want to leave. He committed. His master looked up and said, oh, Dr. Ram, looks like you need to use the restroom. He says, yes. He's like, then go use the restroom. Dr. Ram says, no, I want to learn. And then Baba Ramdas says, oh, no problem. You want to learn? Come tomorrow. Now, at that point, Dr. Ram broke into tears. He said that he thought he felt like his desire to learn was so strong that he had committed to do everything that was needed, and at the same time, he just broke into tears. At that point, his master softened, and he says, okay, Dr. Ram, I'll teach you. He's like, good, what do I do? He says, go to the bathroom. So he went to the bathroom, came back as fast as he could, and his master says, super. Dr. Ram, your first assignment is this. How many people do you think used the restroom so far? And Dr. Ram says, I don't know, maybe 30, 40? He said, super. So your first assignment is go and clean the bathroom. Dr. Ram looks shocked. He's like, maybe you misunderstood. I want to learn the ancient secrets. I don't want to learn how to clean the bathroom. I'm a doctor. And in India with all the caste system too, that was all going through his mind. Baba Ramdas says, oh, you want to learn the ancient secrets? No problem. Come tomorrow. So at that point, Dr. Ram went to the bathroom, cleaned it as fast as he could, and came back to his master and says, okay, I did what you wanted. Now please, teach me the ancient secrets. Then his master says, well, first of all, let me check your work. Dr. Ram says, why do you want to check my work? I need to check your work. How you did. So he got up, they went over, he hobbled over to the bathroom, looked, and he's like, oh, Dr. Ram, horrible job. It still smells bad. You missed this point here. This is still dirty over here. This is dirty over here. He said this very poignant thing. He said, how do you expect to clean the bodies, minds, emotions, souls of men, women, and children? You can't even clean a bathroom. This shocked Dr. Ram, and his master, he said, he realized at that point, his master was teaching him secrets through activities, through becoming involved, through these challenge activities, one of which was cleaning the toilet. And his master said this very poignant thing. He says, the greatest obstacle anyone has to seeing themselves or others clearly is fear and ego. And Dr. Ram realized that his master was helping try and break his ego down, and through other kind of challenge activities, helping him face his fears. But this is the secret that I wanted to share with you today. That's a big part of this global healing miracle experiment. The secret is this. His master said to him when he's looking at the toilet, saying, you missed here. This smells bad. You can't even clean a toilet. How are you supposed to help clean the bodies, minds, and emotions of men and women? He says this. He says, whatever you do in your life. So this is the secret. I want you to pay close attention to this part. Whatever you do in your life, you give 100%. Whatever it is. Whether it's cleaning the toilet, whether it's being with a patient, whether it's eating your food, whether it's being with your spouse, whether it's being with your friends, whatever it is, whether it's translating a book, whether it's writing an article, whether it's recording a video, whatever it is, you give your 100%. He didn't say all those other things. I just added that in. And this changed Dr. Ram's life. He went back, cleaned the bathroom 100%. When the bathroom was so clean you could eat off the floor, he went back to his master and says, okay, the bathroom is so clean. You can check it if you want. His master says, no, I know you did a good job. He says, well, now I want to start learning. Can you start my training? His master says, your training already started. And this secret, oh my goodness, if we had more time, I would share with you so many things. When I heard this, Dr. Ram share this story with me, that first time that's documented in this book, it took me honestly 6 or 7 years before I realized what a golden gem of a secret it is. Because I always thought I have to preserve my energy. So I can't give 100%, because if I give 100%, I'll lose energy. I won't have as much energy as I need to do what I'm here to do. But there's a secret. If you give 100%, you generate all the energy you need. How did Dr. Ram see 300, 400 people a day with the same amount of energy at the end of the day as at the beginning? Was this secret. Whatever you do, you give 100%. This secret can change your life. If you do this one thing from this global healing miracle experiment, everything can change. So now if I had a chance to break us into groups, which is just complicated right now because of all the technical difficulties with Zoom, the Zoom system's not working, so I'm not going to take that chance. But when the call ends, I want you to, in your heart, look inside of yourself and answer this question for yourself. How do you feel that fear and ego impacts your life? The second thing is, when do you give 100%? When have you ever given 100%? Like, I want you to think about those times you gave 100% and how that turned out for you. How did that work for you? And then think, what is it right now in your life that you really can give 100% to do? This is such a powerful secret. This can change your life. Miracles can happen, especially when you're doing them in combination with everything else. So you think about the principle of Aditi Devo Bhava. Are you doing that with 100%? I want to make a confession. In fact, it's a little sensitive because I like it when I have stories that make me look good. But this story doesn't make me look good. But it happened today. You know, here I am in the middle of this whole global healing miracle experiment, and I'm teaching about Aditi Devo Bhava. So I'm trying to make it so everyone possible lives this principle, which is to honor the divine in you and everything that shows up. So it's honoring the unexpected guest as if it's God or Goddess showing up. So just about 3 hours ago, I was walking Milo. And remember I talked about those angry dogs and that we soothe them with singing. And since then, they haven't given us any problem. One of the dogs all of a sudden went out of her way to bark and growl and almost bite Milo and bite me. And I was so startled. And I became impatient, actually. And instead of trying to do something that was gentle, I actually picked up a rock. I became irritated. I picked up a rock and threatened to throw it. And then she still was being aggressive. And so I actually threw the rock. I didn't hit her, but just to startle her, to give us some space. And afterwards, I started feeling like troubled inside of me. Like, I didn't follow Aditi Devo Bhava. Would I have God showed up? I didn't understand. Dr. Ram says most of it is we don't understand. So then I thought, why is that showing up in my life? What's happening? And I became curious. And as we walked back again, instead of threatening this dog and trying to hurt it, I wanted to understand, why is it doing this? And I looked, and it had like 4 puppies that had just been born. And they were right next to the road there that we were walking past. And we were walking close to just because we didn't know. She was just trying to protect her puppies. And I just started thinking, oh my goodness, this is crazy. So this principle of Aditi Devo Bhava, you can give with 100%. In that case, how did my fear and how did my ego impact me? My fear was there because I was afraid of getting hurt. And then my ego was, I was annoyed and frustrated that why do I have to deal with this again? And why do I have to, so both of those things were clouding me from seeing the situation clearly and understanding, oh, this dog doesn't want to hurt us. She's just trying to protect her puppies. So whatever it is in your life, and I'd encourage you with the principles of this experiment, these 6 principles, why not give 100%? And for those on the Miracle Dream Team, if you're doing the translation, why not give it 100%? For those writing articles, speaking, doing data entry, or whatever you're doing, why not give 100% and see what is the magic that can happen in your life as a result of following these ancient secrets of a master healer. So that's the thing I wanted to share with you today. If you want to, I know I just saw Julia Great, and you said that you had a miracle happen on this call. Do you want to share? Just unmute yourself and just share. I don't know if you can unmute yourself, Julia, but I just want to give you a chance to share.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh,
Can you hear
super.
me?
Yeah, what miracle
Oh, wow.
unfolded for you on this call? And you've been serving so much with 100%. I just want to thank you, first of all. And so many people will be eating a more delicious Hmong soup because of Julia, because she helped refine the recipe in the book, because I had one thing wrong and then she made it all better. So everyone, thank you to Julia. But Julia, what is the miracle that happened for you on this call?
Well, it's amazing because I went out to take a walk and listened to this call because in the mornings are a little difficult for me. I just have emotions and thoughts and energies that I have to clear and do a lot of turnarounds and shifting in the morning. I just take this walk, got on the call, and had done several laps. And as I decided, I always talk to Dr. Naram, say, Pankaj, be with me now. And so at a certain point, I felt like I should stop and sit on a bench. So today, I happened to remember my little bag of doggy milk bones so that I could feed the dogs on the way. And whatever dog I feel inspired. So I had given some through the fence at these two dogs with a while. And as on the bench listening to the call, I don't ever sit down on a bench, so I felt it has to do that. Well, right in front of me, right after I sat down, this man and his little dog walked by. And I was so happy to see them. It was like a miracle because I haven't seen them in about 2.5 months. And this particular dog and his owner, it's a single man, an older man. This dog was attacked the last time I saw them about 2.5 months ago by a Rottweiler dog who was not on a leash. And I remember seeing them across the park. This little dog was attacked, and soon after that, this man was carrying the dog, and the dog was really bloody, and the man had blood all over his arms because he went to rescue his dog from this Rottweiler. And the owner of the Rottweiler, they didn't even say they were sorry. Like, they were laughing, and it was really sad. So I wanted to help this man and his dog, but he hurried his dog away in the car, and he didn't want help, and he just went home. So I never knew if the dog lived or died because he was blood coming out of his mouth. And I was so sad for this dog and had prayed for it and prayed for this man. And for me, it was this mystical miracle that right in that moment that I sat down and I was on this call, this man walked by with his dog, and I offered him a milk bone because I just remember the milk bones. And his dog took the milk bone and was so happy. And so for me, it was a sign from Dr. Naram. I was very happy to, and he was, and this man was very grateful that I remembered him and that I remembered the circumstance that had happened. Another friend, we called the police on this Rottweiler because he wasn't on a leash or anything. And anyway, they didn't want to do anything unless we were willing to press charges. So we let it go, and we just said a prayer that all would work out. And I really was hoping that the dog was okay. So that was my miracle.
Oh, I love that. So beautiful. Thank you so much, Julia. Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else want to share some miracle that you've seen happen in your life as a result of following any of these principles? Atiti Devo Bhawa, as far as getting clear on what you want, focusing on the to-be list instead of the to-do list, infusing your life with more gratitude, or giving 100%. Anyone have some story you want to share? You can raise your hand by clicking, let's see where you can click.
Hey, Clint, can I say one more thing?
Actually, just one sec. We're going to go to Savan, and then we'll come back in a second. All right, Savan.
Hey guys, namaskar to you all. One of the miracles that has happened is somebody that I don't know from Instagram obviously found out about charity work that I was involved in. Not only approached me to see how they can be a part of it, but was asking my advice about how they can control the anger, etc. And what came to me was the initial thought about the gratitude journal. And I said to them, I said, why don't you start a journal? Why don't, and I talked them through it. It's been about a week since I've been doing the journal. Out of nowhere, they've slowly felt themselves being calm, they sing a pattern, etc. And the miracle for me was obviously the aspect of Atiti Devo Bhava, but it was also the aspect of giving back to somebody, that I don't know on a personal level. And the energies that flowed through from all over the place has brought me to give something back and to help somebody out in such a way that I was not expecting to. So I'm thankful for that. I'm also thankful for you and everybody on the call here that I can be such a part of this and share the love, share the energy with you all.
Ah, so beautiful. Thank you, Savan. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we're going to go next to Carol and then Dick. So, Carol, do you want to unmute yourself?
Yes, I just wanted to say that I got an order in from Amazon with mung beans, and I'd ordered kachari spices, and I made mung bean soup and gave some to my daughter for the first time yesterday. And we've tried other like 9 bean soups, 15 beans, all kinds, but she has a really bad condition that causes spasms in her stomach, and this is the first time this week she's eaten something that she didn't cry. And the last soup I gave her, she cried for almost 3 hours because it was so painful. And the mung bean soup caused 0 pain. So I'm grateful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So beautiful. That makes me so happy, Carol. Yeah, mung soup is one of the secret foods in the book that we haven't really focused on this global healing miracle experiment. But there's 6 secret keys that you discover in the book, and one of them is diet. But that's a totally different thing I wanted to keep for the book. But this experiment, which is so fun, is that miracles like this are happening. And it's so fun because, Carol, not just having mung beans, but how you make it makes a difference. So what are the ingredients that go with it? And so thankful to Julia for making it so it was perfectly outlined so it could be tasty. And you can adapt. You can make it tasty to you, but I just love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Carol.
Thank you.
So much. And Carol is like an angel, too. Just helping in so many ways, answering so many hundreds of emails from getting ready for this advanced reader team. So if anyone wants to read the book in advance, Carol, maybe you can put your email. You can put your email in the chat so that they can contact you. Super. All right, now let's go to Dick. Please, you can unmute yourself and share. I want to hear your story.
Good morning. I have been doing the I can't pronounce it, maybe a Titi Devo Bawa for several years, I think. But recently there have been numerous new visitors. I posted a few of them, the raccoon and the couple of cats. But that wasn't my story. My story is that over 2 weeks ago, I started having a constant ache in my lower teeth here. And every day it started, it got a little bit worse every day. And finally, I started taking some ibuprofen twice a day, and that helped a little bit. It kept getting worse, and I made an appointment with the dentist. And yesterday, and the dentist is scheduled for tomorrow. Yesterday, I casually, I really emphasize casually, I casually just did a little marma here. And I just did a little marma here and just sort of forgot about it. And later in the day, it went through my mind, well, I want this pain to be gone. and it passed. Well, I didn't think about that anymore. Well, I took ibuprofen yesterday afternoon because the pain had come earlier. By 10 o'clock last night, the pain was gone. I didn't take any more painkiller. I woke up this morning, the pain is still gone. And I don't have anything to attribute to that other than the only things that I did differently was just a little thing here, a little thing there, and a little thing of, I want to be free of this pain. I can't explain it other than that. So that's my miracle story.
Oh, that makes me so happy. Mom, are you still on the call? I don't know if you're willing to share about your experience in helping the kids at your school with that same thing that Dick was talking about. I don't know if you're still on the call or not. I know there's a lot of difficulties, but my mom, she worked at a school with kids with severe, multiple disabilities. And sometimes they had to severely medicate them, even restrain them, and they'd sometimes be violent or, so many things happening. But you can imagine how much is happening in their bodies and their minds. And she started doing these marmas with them, and they would just become calm. And the whatever was the agitation would go away. And so all the teachers were like, what are you doing? She's like, and she called it the Dr. Indian head squeeze. She called this marma that. So then they all wanted to learn. So she had this situation set up where she did some training for all the teachers that wanted to learn. But in the training, one of the teachers says, I have this pain in my knee. Can it help me? She's like, I don't know. He was a lot taller than she was. So she had to stand on a chair, press the marma points, same one that you're talking about, and then this one, and then one other one. He's like, oh my goodness, the pain is like 50% less. Do it again. So there's certain things, secrets that you'll discover as you learn these ancient secrets. So powerful. And you always have your body with you. You can always press certain points. And there's a lot of those diagrams and different things in this book that we'll share more about. Thank you, Dick, for sharing your story. Thank you for doing that experiment. All right. Next, I see a couple other people have their hands raised. I want to see Esther. You want to share?
Morning, Clint. So my miracle was that when I came back from Ayushakti, I had the email address for Manoj, the chef there, and I had lost it. And he had promised to send me a recipe for the mung soup. And I just could not find his address anywhere. So I went on Amazon and I just looked up Ayurvedic cookbooks, and I ordered one because I liked the cover of it. Didn't read anything about it. And when I got it, I looked through the recipes and there was a recipe for the mung soup. And so I went ahead and I made it. But before each recipe was a paragraph of some narrative. And the next time I made the soup, I actually read this paragraph, the narrative. And the author of the book said, basically, I got this recipe from the Ayush Shakti Center. And it was Dr. Smita's recipe that she credited it to. But I was like, oh my God, of all the cookbooks and all the recipes I could find, this is the one that I stumbled on. So I actually just finished a week of eating my mung soup for breakfast and dinner every day and my khichdi for lunch every day and feeling great. But it was, when things need to come to you, they come to you.
Wow, so beautiful. Thank you, Esther. We're going to go to Renara, and then after that, we're going to do a miracle experience together. So Eva, if you'll be ready in just a minute, I'm going to bring you on. But Renara, you have your hand raised. You want to share your miracle experience? Let's see if I can unmute you.
Do you hear me?
And there you go. Now we can hear you.
Yeah. So first, I think I'm in this group actually by Dr. Naram himself. I had this impression from the beginning. And for me, the first miracle is I'm feeling his presence very strongly. And even now, Yeah. And it was really the God providence that by accident and thanks to Giovanni, I saw him October in Roma.
Yeah.
And so he asked me, he said me by my pulse that you are in this stage that you don't know what really to do. But what really do you want? I said, I want to heal by my music, and I will transform the music, transform the world through the music. So he said me, you will. So the last call, when you ask in exercise what we have to do, and you ask, say what you really want. So I was in the middle of the street, and I really felt that I really want to go through, not through the concerts, not through the performances, but really heal through the music, and to be the part of the transformation with my music. And when we had to have the binom in the group, you know, at the end of the call, so I was with one guy from Puerto Rico, and he was the music therapist. And so we were amazed, both of us, that between all of us, you know, we were in the group of two, and we were so happy to see each other, share our wish, you know. And the same has happened for me this morning when I put what I want today. And it was also was about the creativity and more fine way to touch my creativity. And in 5 minutes, I received the video of the Sadhguru where he was talking actually about the creativity. So, I mean, it's really one this divine coincidence and this miracle of love happened. And I'm extremely thankful and grateful for the presence of Dr. Naram in our group, because I really physically feel that. And thank you for all of you, because for me it's very, very important to change my way in music, you know.
Ah, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Renara. Thank you very much. And I like that you're doing it. Each day you're saying, what do I want today? It makes me so happy. It's such a simple thing, but why not try it? Why not play the game?
Yeah.
Experiment. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and the answer coming really almost immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what I found is that sometimes the answer doesn't come right away, but why not keep asking the question until the answer comes? Even if it takes you, because like we have 24 hours in a day, most of the time we're just in automatic pilot. But why not just intentionally ask, what do I want? The answer doesn't come right away. Just keep asking until you find out. All right, so now looking at the amazing, really this is amazing. This is amazing what's happening. It's amazing what's unfolding. And for those who are watching this and thinking, oh, nothing's happening amazing for me yet, it's really simple. You just have to start doing these 6 things. Even if you start one of them, just start it. Just do an experiment. For this next week, do as many of these as you can. You know, download that journal and just actually start doing this experiment and see what's possible in your life. Now, on a collective scale, as more and more of us are doing this, something beautiful can happen. And I want to go right now to Eva. Eva, if you can unmute yourself. So on the very, very first call, there was the second call, but the first week call, we had on Rabbi Robbins. And you remember Rabbi Robbins so powerfully offering that prayer, speaking about his experience with Dr. Naram. So many things unfolded around that. Maybe I'll see if I can unmute you, Eva. Just one second.
Did it work?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah, I'm on an iPad and on a computer. One's working and one's
good.
I don't know. But you can hear me.
I can hear you now. Are you able to share your video? I don't. It's not required, but if you can, it would be nice.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's something is. I don't.
Oh.
No. Okay.
There we go.
That's okay. You don't have to see me.
Well, it's nice we saw you for that moment. Can you give us an update? So when I posted in the Facebook group, so many people were concerned about Rabbi Robbins, about Stephen, and just sending love and sending prayers. And I just love an update, and then maybe you can guide us all through some healing prayer that all of us collectively on this call, watching the recording, we can all send that love and the intention of the best thing possible happening for him.
Well, one of the things I want to say, he's had a very rough week. He has a number of infections and pneumonia. And I wanted because you all know we can't go into hospitals now. I can't be with him. So it's very hard. He's by himself. And I was desperate to see what I could accomplish. So I called patient relations, and I insisted that they have a chaplain come visit him. And they agreed to let a rabbi visit. So my dear friend went, and she FaceTimed me into the room with my husband, with Steve. And when I started singing, he started coming out of the place where he was, and he recognized my voice and he recognized me. And I told him that thousands of people were praying for him, and he smiled. So you have to know how important it is that everybody, that all of us are there for each other. And that we pray and that we hold all that good energy and we lift it up. We lift it up. And what I sang to him was an angel's blessing. And I thought to myself, this would be a beautiful thing to share, because we pray that the angels are with us all the time. In Judaism, there are 4 key angels, and they're on all 4 sides of us. Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Raphael. And above our heads is Shekhinah. Shekhinah is the female divine. So when I sang this to him, I could see all the love just infuse around him. And yesterday he called me, and I thought, what happened? So I know the power of the voice, of music, of love, and the flow of everybody from all of you is helping to move him, just to keep moving him. And so I am very grateful to you, Clint, and to everybody for all of your love and your wishes and your healing blessings, because it really helps. It really makes a difference, especially when you are alone in a hospital and nobody else can be with you.
Would you be willing to sing that right now, and we all sing in our hearts along with you?
Absolutely, I would. So the song says that on the right side is Michael, our strength. And on our left is Gabriel, the truly powerful one. And in front of us is Uriel, which is the light. And behind us is Raphael, the healer. And above us is Shekhinah, the feminine divine. Me.
Just one second, Eva, just 1 second.
Sure.
For those who are still on the call, I just want you to have in your heart this love for Rabbi Robbins, and also maybe there's someone in your life that's suffering or hurting or in pain, Maybe it's a visible pain, or maybe it's an invisible pain. Maybe it's someone that's struggling in some way that's a hidden struggle. I just want you to have in your heart this intention for deep healing, for Rabbi Robbins and for all those who are suffering. So thank you, Eva. If you could sing, that would be so beautiful.
Mi, 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 Michael, mismoli Gabriel, umilfanai Uriel, meacharai Raphael. Ve'al Roshi, ve'al Roshi, ve'al Roshi Shechinah. Ve'al Roshi, ve'al Roshi, ve'al Roshi Shechinah.
There's a lot of love being sent your way, Eva, not only for Stephen, but for you, for your heart and your soul and the purpose you're here, and just totally trusting that this unexpected guest is given for some divine purpose, this unexpected guest of this experience, and just really asking for the miracle to be manifest as we express and share and embody more and more of this love. Eva, if you could sing one more song that we'll close on, which is that beautiful one you sang a couple times ago, When You Believe,
Yes.
from the Prince of Egypt.
Oh, I actually don't have those words in front of me.
Oh.
Can I share something else?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And before you share that, I just want to say to everyone, we're going to close on whatever Eva is going to sing and share. I'm just going to actually close the call after that. I'm just really excited that so many of you are doing these, following these principles, you know, and the concept that there are miracles that are possible. When you follow certain principles, you invite more and more of your eyes to open up to see that they're already there. Is really the secret. There's so many miracles happening, and you know, Albert Einstein, he says there's only two ways to look at life. One is that there's nothing that's a miracle, or the other is that everything's a miracle. But even the fact that our hearts are beating, that our lungs are functioning, that air is coming in and out is not guaranteed. No day of this life is guaranteed. The fact that our eyes work and our ears can hear this music and our hearts can feel it. This is amazing. And then on other levels, the fact that we have as much water as we want, most of us, and it's like heated when it comes out of the faucet. I mean, most kings and emperors in that history didn't even have that. They heat the water and then give it to them. You know, the fact that we even in the situation of this virus, we can still go to the grocery store or get food, and we have access to so many things. There's so much that we can be grateful for, and so many miracles. And the greatest miracle, I think, is when you become aligned with your purpose, when you discover what you want, when you discover what you want to be, when you're able to notice the divine in you and everything that's around you, when you're able to give 100%, so many more miracles are going to unfold in your life. And you're going to experience the miracles of healing, love for yourself and for others. Eva, I think I just saw that you left. Are you still there, Eva?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, super. Yeah, and we're ready for you.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for joining this call. Thank you for sending your love for our Rabbi Robbins, for anyone who's suffering. Looking forward to joining you next week. And thank you, Eva, for this moment.
This is a song about building a world with love. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dadai, dadadai. I will build this world from love. Yadadai, dadai, dadadai. And you must build this world from love. Yadadai, dadai, yadadai. And if we build this world from love, yadadai, dadai, yadadai, then God will build this world from love. Yadadai, dadai, yadadai, dadai.
Beautiful. So let's build this world with love. Like Arlene was saying, this is our chance to really have something new come through us individually and us collectively. To allow ourselves to be immersed in really the miracle of life and the miracle of love, and to create a new world, not go back to the old normal, but create a new world that works, that's a healthier, happier, more beautiful world for all of us. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Looking forward to joining with you throughout this week, seeing in the Facebook group your experiments and your miracles that are coming from it, and to join with you next Sunday for some really special surprise gift that I have for you, and I can't wait to, I'm already excited about it. So Mike, if you can end this call for everyone, namaste, I love you, and I'm with you. In fact, you can unmute yourself if you want to, just real quick, everyone, and say, I love you, and I'm with you.
And I'm with you. Thank you very much.
I love you. I'm with you.
I'm with you.
Thank you.
Love you.
I love you. I'm with you. Namaste.
I'm with you.
Love you and with you.
I love you all, and I'm with you all the way.
I love you and
I love you and I'm with
Love
you.
you and with you.
I love you, and I am with you. And I'm with you.
I'm with you.
From Holland.
Love you and I'm with you. Thank you.
Love you and
Love you and with you. Stay.
Love you all, and I'm with you all the way.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody's.
I love you.
Love you and with you.
I love you. I'm with you.
This is how many years.
I love you and I'm with you.
We are still on a mini next week.
Holland. Hi. The call.
Love you and I'm with you. Thank you.
Spread your love, everybody. That's what the world needs.
I love you, and I am with you. It just moves places because people are leaving.
Oh.